this road. You must be almost home.
Yes, we are. I've been wondering what the best thing is to do when we get there. What do you think?
Well, I'm not sure.
I don't think Henrietta should go straight in, do you? She couldn't stand it.
No, she couldn't. What do you suggest?
Well, I was wondering whether you'd like to stay in the carriage with her while I go and break the news to her parents. Is that a good idea, do you think?
Yes, I do. If you don't mind being the person...
No, it's my duty. I think I shall go straight back to Lyme when it's all over.
Tonight? Do you think you should?
I feel I must.
This is a great pleasure, Lady Russell. Miss Elliot.
Mrs. Croft, I wonder, have you heard anything new from Lyme?
Only that Louisa is slowly improving.
Isn't that good?
When did you last hear?
I had a note yesterday morning. I don't know how it got here.
Oh, I expect Frederick brought it.
That's my brother, Captain Wentworth, Lady Russell. I believe you've met him.
Yes.
He was here yesterday, very briefly, and then he went back to Lyme again. He asked after you most particularly, Miss Elliot.
Mm.
Oh, yes, indeed. He says Miss Elliot was superb in the crisis, Lady Russell.
Oh, I only wish I had been.
And he hopes you're none the worse for all your exertions.
But I did so little.
That's not what he says.
Indeed, it's not.
Well, Charles and Mary will be home tomorrow. They will tell us how things are.
It all seems to have been a most deplorable business.
Most deplorable.
Of course, Louisa was always a very imprudent girl.
It's a new sort of way for a young fellow to be making love by breaking his mistress's head, isn't it, Miss Elliot? This is, breaking her head and giving her plaster, truly.
I simply can't imagine what Frederick thought he was doing.
I can only conclude he wasn't thinking at all.
Yeah, a very bad business. Oh, but Miss Elliot, this must be a very bad moment for you, coming and finding us here.
Oh, not at all, sir, I assure you.
I declare I didn't remember before, but it must be very bad.
I don't mind, really.
Now, don't stand on ceremony. Get up and go over the whole house if you want to.
Another time, sir, thank you, not now.
Oh, well, whenever it suits you. You can slip in from the shrubbery at any time. You'll find we keep our umbrellas hanging up by that door there. It's a good place, isn't it?
Yes, very good.
Oh, but Miss Elliot won't think so. You always kept your umbrellas in the butler's room.
Yes, we did.
Aye. So it always is, I believe. One man's ways may be as good as another's, but we all think our own the best.
Quite.
So you must judge for yourself whether you'd rather go round the house or not.
It's very kind of you, sir, but I think I'd prefer not to today.
Miss Elliot, when will you be joining your father and sister in Bath?
The day after tomorrow. Until then, I'm staying with Lady Russell.
Oh, very nice.
Well, it is for me.
We've made very few changes, you know, Miss Elliot, very few. I think we told you about the laundry door.
Yes, you did.
That's been a very great improvement. Indeed, it was a wonder how any family on earth could have borne with the inconvenient way it opened for so long.
Well, I expect we were used to it.
You'll tell your father what we've done?
Certainly.
And that Mr. Shepherd thinks it's the greatest improvement the house has ever seen? Indeed, I must do ourselves the justice of saying that the very few alterations that we made have all been very much for the better.
I'm sure they have.
My wife should have the credit of them, really.
Oh, no.
I've done very little myself, except for sending away some of the large looking-glasses from what was your father's dressing room.
Well, there were a great many.
He's a very good man and very much the gentleman, I'm sure, but I should think, Miss Elliot, I should think that your father must be rather a dressy man for his time of life.
Well...
So many looking-glasses. Oh, Lord. There was no getting away from oneself. So I got Sophie to lend me a hand, and we soon shifted their quarters.
I hope you are quite comfortable now.
Oh, I'm very snug now, with my little shaving glass in one corner. Another great thing I never go near.
The Admiral's used to smaller quarters at sea, you understand, Lady Russell.
Of course.
Oh, but we settled here quite to our liking, with no fault to find.
None at all.
The breakfast room chimney smokes a little, I grant you. But that's only when the wind's due north and blows hard, which isn't likely to happen more than 3 times a winter.
And there's no need to mention it, my dear.
No. No, of course not. Taking it all together, now that we've been in most of the houses hereabouts and can judge, there's nowhere we like better than Kellynch Hall. Pray tell your good father that, Miss Elliot, with my compliments. He'll be glad to hear it, I'm sure.
There was always so much going on in Lyme, you know. Charles Hayter came over several times to see Henrietta.
Yes, I saw no need for that myself. But there was always something to do. We walked to and fro from our lodgings to the Harvilles and back again. Oh, and I got books from the library. It's always having to change them.
We went over to Charmouth one day.
Yes, and I bathed. We went to church, of course.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that.
There are far more people to look at church in Lyme than here, you know.
And of course we saw a great deal of Wentworth. Capital fellow.
Yes, Anne. You know, he felt it was all his fault and was very distressed about it. Well, he's cheered up a little as Louisa's got better, but he's insisted on not seeing her in case it upsets her. Isn't it strange?
Very strange.
It's perfectly true, though. In fact, now he's left Lyme altogether for a few days. Benwick's still there, of course. But Wentworth's gone to visit his brother in Shropshire.
Really?
Yes, very strange behaviour. Did Anne tell you about our extraordinary meeting with Mr. Elliot, Lady Russell?
Yes, she did.
Wasn't it remarkable? Oh, I wish I'd been there to see him.
Oh, I'm very glad I was not. He is a man I have had no wish to see since he declined to be on friendly terms with the head of his family.
Oh. Oh, then you haven't heard.
Heard what?
I had a letter from Elizabeth yesterday. Mr. Elliot is in Bath and has called on them 3 times already.
Do you mean he wants to be reconciled with your father?
Apparently. Isn't it exciting? He's changed completely, it seems.
It's very surprising, if it's true.
Oh, but it is. You still not want to see him?
Well, if he's really sought your father out to be reconciled with him, then yes. I should like to see him very much indeed.
And you too, Anne, I'm sure.
Well, I'd certainly rather see Mr. Elliot than a great many other people in Bath.
Oh, I do wish we were coming with you. When are you leaving?
Tomorrow.
Well, I hope you enjoy yourselves. I prefer the country myself.
Oh, yes, you would.